Hey Narwhals, I'm your host Luke Narwhal, and today we're going to be reading Ask Reddit. How did you get fat? If you haven't subscribed yet, our subscribers are known as the Narwhals, inspired by the brave unicorn of the sea. I'd encourage you to subscribe to join the original 10,000 Narwhals. Now let's dive right in. I was running 5 kilometers every morning. I felt amazing, looked amazing, confidence was sky high. Then my dad passed away. There was stress. There was his business I had to run, his affairs I needed to manage. I slowly started to gain weight, a lot of weight. I went from 180 pounds and 16% body fat to 245 pounds and 36% body fat. Every day I say I will start to run again, and I don't. I look like crap, feel like crap. My health is taking a toll. Confidence is gone, and I haven't had a look from a girl in 5 years. To answer your question, food became a stress relief. I quit doing a super mega frig ton of drugs and gained 80 pounds. I will still take my life now over my life then though. Depression and laziness. I was too lazy to cook, so I ate fast food every day. I also chain smoked and drank to the point of blacking out like 3 times a week. I got myself up to 415 pounds. Been losing for a while now. I was 228 pounds when I weighed in a couple of weeks ago. Might as well piggyback on you, since we had a similar scenario, except I was 480-ish before I did a turnaround. I liked hard liquor and eating and watching movies drunk. Then I lost my job, and I just kept doing my downtime stuff all day. I was only able to find stretch waistband shorts to wear for a long time, and I had to pull them over my gut to keep my stomach from peeping out under my shirts. Then I got another job about 3 months ago, and according to the scale in the cafeteria, I'm 441 pounds as of yesterday. I do a lot of walking for half my job, and the other half is unloading truck freight. I'm already feeling better. Probably feel awesome when I stop weighing 4 people. Edit, probably should mention I stopped drinking so damn much too. Depression, stress, constantly thinking, I'm going to diet next week, so I should eat some one last huzzah meals. Finally got my crap together and started only eating until I'm no longer hungry rather than until I'm full. Now I'm down 80 pounds and at my lowest weight since puberty. Eating made me feel good when I was depressed. I was depressed, so I ate more. Then I got fat and felt even more depressed for being fat. Then I ate more, etc. Now I'm a 242 pound blob. I wish people would understand this. I am not overweight and find it amazing people, especially on Reddit, cannot find empathy for people who are overweight. Even for me, nothing feels better than high-calorie foods when you are stressed or sad. Not if the Reddit public who like to hate on people with weight problems would imagine for a second the depression is tenfold and the relief from eating is tenfold. They can understand how hard it is to stop. It is as simple as brain chemistry with a myriad of causes and scenarios and not as easy as free will. The people who overcome it did not just simply make a choice one day. Grew up poor. Now I eat what I want to a point of excess. When I was a kid, my family couldn't afford grapes, and I loved me some grapes. For a very long time, my ambition was to open a store that would only sell grapes. I fantasized about making enough money to buy all the grapes I could eat. I was a dumb kid. I have that problem with candy. My mother never allowed the usual sweets that all my friends were eating. Every kid I knew had some kind of treat in their lunch every day at school, except me. My mom always gave me something she considered to be a treat, but that was like trail mix or something else totally uninteresting to 10-year-old me. From high school onward, when my parents no longer could control my eating habits outside the house, I binged on sugar. I still do it. I still get excited by the idea of being able to go into the grocery store and buy a whole bag of chocolate for me to eat on my own if I want to. Depression, like several people on this thread. I had a crappy job where I got harassed pretty much every day in a bad shift pattern that meant I rarely got a chance to do much other than work. I got to the point where I never felt able to cope with anything. I'd be constantly worrying what if I got tired or hungry, how that would make the day harder to deal with. So basically, I overslept and overate and did as little exercise as possible in case it made me tired. Getting better now. I've changed jobs and started exercising again though. I was remodeling a house in the middle of the summer, drinking 24 cans or more of Pepsi per day. I noticed my clothes getting tighter, but was too focused on the remodeling to think about what that meant. By the end of the summer, I was effed. It goes on a lot easier than it comes off. I've been waiting for this question. From 0 to 9, I was a pretty average athletic kid. I rode my bike everywhere. I climbed trees, I loved swimming, I hiked trails to explore, and I even took gymnastics. Not just tumbling, but rings, horse, uneven bars, the whole bit. I had that little bit of baby fat belly, but most of my meals were homemade, snacks were healthy, and soda wasn't something we kept in the house much. Then, Grandpa died. The two-parent household was now a one-parent household, and I was now a latchkey kid. Taking lunch to school fell off into buying lunch at school. Health snacks were now just snacks. Fast food and box prep meals became standard instead of homemade, and soda at home was fair game. No one took me to after-school activities anymore, and my free reign of biking around the town was restricted since no one could pick me up if there was trouble. Then we moved to a mobile home park. No more yards, much denser population, a somewhat unsafer side of town. No more back trails to hike, my curfew reined in, the range I was allowed to bike to also shortened. Again, no after-school activities, so I would come home alone and play Nintendo. I got pudgy. I still tried to be active. Living in Silicon Valley and being interested in electronics, a friend and I went dumpster diving and learned about circuit board components. His dad would put an end to that after bringing home too much junk, and I wasn't even allowed to go alone, so my bike riding decreased even further. When my bike got stolen, Mom never saw fit to replace it. Bullying at school and being gifted a computer from the grandparents all sort of came together at the same time, and Mom pulled me out of public school for home study. It was a farce, as she didn't actually teach any of the content. I ended up effectively dropping out and spending all my time on the computer and the early web, teaching myself about the world and subjects of interest at my own pace. I was now mostly making my own meals by this point, which meant everything was simple, fast, and generally unhealthy. I got fat. The thing about getting fat, at least in cases like mine, is that it's gradual. You're not outgrowing clothes every month. You're not suddenly unable to do things. Your body adapts. Your muscles get stronger to accommodate the added weight. The limitations in your range of motion are so gradual that it takes years to go from "this is effortless" to "this is tiring" to "I can't do this anymore." If you're not particularly attractive out of the gate, you have no mirror affinity, so you don't watch yourself get fat. You pretty much have to rely on others to say, "Hey dude, you're fat, maybe you should fix that." If your family is also a bit plump, they're not going to call you out on it. The friends who like you as a person typically don't care about how you look, so they don't say anything either. And if you're not going to a doctor for preventative health, you don't even have professionals telling you to make lifestyle changes. At least, not until it's too late. Getting fat really needs to be stopped midway. If you have a sit down and understand the health risks and the lifestyle changes that come with being obese, you may be able to change your habits midstream and prevent yourself from getting fatter. The real problem is, losing weight is hard for a lot of folks. It's a metabolism issue. You get fat because you eat more calories than you burn, and in most cases, your body just shrugs and says, "Okay, we'll just store that extra energy then." But as soon as you try and make changes to your habits, burning equal calories to intake or running a calorie deficit, your body holds on to those stores because that's emergency energy. Don't touch that. That's why the easiest pounds you lose up front is water weight. As soon as you start burning through actual fat, there's a super discouraging plateau. And that brings us to the psychological bit. Food today is designed to make you feel good. More than ever before in history, scientists are engineering food to hit more intense flavors and create more craving than before. Eating food that makes you feel good is the cheapest high there is, and it's completely legal. You can eat basically whenever and wherever you want. Caloric intake be damned. Have a bad day? Here's some French fries. Break up with your significant other? Eat some ice cream. It's so blatant that companies advertise their food will make you feel good. When professional help for your mental illnesses is expensive, chocolate is cheap. Eat up, fatty. And then you end up, or at least I assume, where I am. You've been fat for years. Your lifestyle has changed to suit your current fitness levels. Nothing about your job or your hobbies requires you to run a mile, so you don't. Your friends like you for who you are, and you've convinced yourself that you don't need friends who would judge you on how you look, so there's no motivation to get trim to meet new people. If you've had a partner for a while, they must be okay with it, right? And if you've been single for a long time, you've just grown to accept that people are shallow and you're not physically what others want. The only real motivation to change is health problems and risks associated with obesity. And if you're suffering from depression, hey, maybe dying young isn't such a bad thing. Obesity is a health issue in two parts: bad nutrition and mental illness. Bottom line, you're thinking unhealthy thoughts, so you justify unhealthy habits, which involve unhealthy food. This becomes a feedback loop, and honestly, without external help, is really friggin' hard to break. Unfortunately, mental health issues are not taken seriously in this day and age, and virtually no diet/workout program properly addresses the mental change that has to be done before the physical change can truly take hold. If you read through all this, you might be thinking, dang, you're pretty self-aware of this issue, so why are you still fat? Well, I'm working on fixing my mental issues before I tackle the physical issues of being fat. I'm making minor adjustments in my habits now, but I understand I'm not going to be able to commit to a dramatic life change until my head is in the right place. I know that if I fall into a deep depression again, the first thing I'm going to want is chocolate ice cream, and I need to break that association before I start down the real path to weight loss. And that brings us to the end, narwhals. If you made it till the end, I'd encourage you to tap the thumbs up button below. That really helps us grow. If you haven't subscribed yet, our subscribers are known as the narwhals, inspired by the brave unicorn of the sea. I'd encourage you to subscribe to join the original 10,000 narwhals, and so you don't miss future videos like this. Thanks for watching, and until next time, be brave, be a narwhal.